If like folks, how you doing? Welcome to Live in the Lounge 44. I'm more than likely speaking to myself at the minute till folk get tuned in. But this is number 44 here for the heart of the Howacramar, and we're back again for our weekly Friday night shenanigans. So it's just a normal music song, fits in the box. Give us a shout. I'm sure we'll have a lot of the familiar faces on. It is the first night of an online Celtic Connections, so we might well nae have many folk watching. There's been folk tuning in for that, but I'm sure we'll have a few. I see a few folk rattling in already. 15 folk are watching already, so welcome to the show. Shona's here. She's going to jump in about and say hello.
I'm here. 44. Eh? If I would have thought it. 44. Yep. I can't get the heat up at night. It's so cold. That's why I've got a what do you call it? A polo neck. Is that
turtleneck?
A turtleneck, a polo neck.
Aye. Well, I actually thought Shona wasn't going to be doing this tonight because she didn't sound very great earlier.
No feeling a polo neck, but I'm okay. I'm soldiering on. My throat's a wee bit airach, so I'll see how I get on.
Aye, you'll be fine.
We're singing. I've got 4 songs to do the night, but if I start getting a bit airach, I might just do a couple. I'm sure that'll be alright on the night.
You'll just go off to your bed just as soon as we're finished, no doubt.
I do that anyway, to be quite honest. I'm straight up the stairs, jammies on, makeup off,
lucky
into my bed.
me, yeah, straight to bed after the show.
Yeah, I got my...
Into pyjamas, phone her mum.
No, I go to bed with a hottie.
Yeah,
a hot water bottle.
Oh, okay.
A hot water bottle. It's quite cold here tonight, though, isn't it? It's been pretty cold.
Well, we're in the middle of winter, but it's been pretty frosty, mist evening. So yeah, we've had just a wee touch of ice mist, a wee touch of snow mist evenings.
Yeah.
You come up in the morning, just a light dusting bean, but nothing very much. With a wee bit, was it a week ago? But there you go. But it's a time of the year. Shouldn't be surprised. Icy roads, hell's deep.
It doesn't bother me.
It's
at all.
January,
It's not like we've got anywhere to go, is it?
No, that's true. We've
doesn't
pretty much sit at home, but that's all right. We've got the beautiful countryside and
homeschooling.
It wasn't that bad. There was a couple of, well, say there was a couple of moments, but that was motivational issues with the boys just getting back into 3 weeks of holidays, and they weren't exactly delighted with the prospect of schooling. But it's really not been that bad, and I have to say the schools, I couldn't criticise them. I think they've been brilliant, absolutely brilliant. So yeah, I think they deserve everybody's support. We're in this situation for we're locking down for everybody's health, and so they're putting in a fantastic job, and up the teachers.
Yeah, I noticed, Dariam, you were just saying how about a jammies night one Friday night for the lounge. Well, I would manage that, but Paul just wears his drawers.
I don't wear anything.
Well, yeah.
So we'll have a jammy night or not, depending how you prefer to be robed at bedtime.
Yeah, and I haven't got a dressing
room. I think we should change this conversation pretty quick.
Well, are we doing what's in the box? 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 What's in the box?
Fits in the box.
I don't even care if it's in the box tonight.
Well, I'm not going to tell you actually. I think you do. Now, I could near guess what the first few answers are going to be, but this is going to prove maybe a bit trickier than you might imagine. But anyway, it's it's enigmatic. And then we've got that, and then I was going to I get sugar doer here. I was going to do a whiskey again tonight because we've done that the last few weeks, but I've gone back to the beer. We went to get some shopping, and Shona went in to get some whiskey. And trouble was, we've had it a couple of times, so it's sitting by the house. No, it's
I only bought it because it was on special offer.
I thought that might be the case, but we've got a beer, and this is one we've not had before. And as normal, now if you're going to suggest Dutch or Belgian beers or French beers, you're going to be miles off the mark. It's a Scottish beer, or ale, whatever you want to call it. So it's Scottish, and I would suggest that the idea is the brewery would be close enough. So I can breweries have lots of different things, as you'd expect. We had some beers for the Loch Lomond brewery a few weeks ago, and I had pretty much 8 different beers for them to pick for, made by the same place. So that makes it really difficult, but I think get close, name of the brewery, be close enough. So, God almighty, it could be only kind of beer that really, but some experts out there have had some very good guesses. So, tastes like beer, as you'd hope. So, I'm going to start with a couple of hornpipes. I played these last year at some point, maybe a couple of times even, but you can over the course of a year, I'm forgetting what I've played from one week to the next. So I'm just going to play these. The rest of the tunes I'm doing tonight, if I hadn't played before, but I thought we'd start with a couple of hornpipes. The first thing, and arguably both of them are Irish, but the first thing definitely is a tune called the Pride of Petrevore, which is a song melody really written by Percy French, who wrote The Mountains of Mourne, which would be, it's internationally famous.
Do that some night.
Mountains of Mourne. It's a lovely song actually, but it's one of these. It's kind of like a music hall thing, and so some folk are they look down their noses a wee bit at that. Kind of, it's not proper folk music. Well, as far as I'm concerned, a good tune is a good tune. It's a beautiful melody, and I really like it. So the Pride of Petrevore, and then a tune called Millicent's Favourite, which is better known as the Belfast Hornpipe, and it's a cracking tune. But I think, I wouldn't get upset folk, but I think it is either Scottish or English. A lot of old Irish hornpipes, they actually have their origins in Scotland and Ireland, and you can argue with me if you like, but you can also go and argue with Seamus Tansey, who's a real academic when it comes to Irish music, and it was him that said it, so blame Seamus, but there you go. But it maybe is Irish. So Millicent's Favourite or the Belfast Hornpipe. You're feeling the cold. I'm definitely feeling the heat a wee bit now. The sweat's rising just a little bit, but good tunes. I'm not really caring for. They come for you. Just good music's good music regardless. So a couple of hornpipes to get started. Now, Shona, have we only? notifications, or would you like me to ramble? Because I can manage.
You can
I can certainly manage.
No, I've got quite a lot of hellos to say. Leah Rossfall up in Bucky. Gordon Calder in Widney. He says he's calling out and he's at his bed, but he's going to keep watching on his phone. Ulla in Stockholm is joining us. Lorelei in Pennsylvania. Paul Tyrer, Shirley and John Hooks or in Skeen. Anne Wyatt and Paul Gray at the other side of the hill was asking how your tea was.
It was fine. Of course, I posted my supper as it was. I want to be cooked. There's a man who comes round, a game dealer, you would say, and they can have a lot of venison, and the boys love the pheasant and black pudding burgers.
They are good.
So they are good, and we had that for our supper. And then tomorrow we may have wild boar and apple sausages. So there you
Yummers.
go. But no, go and see him. He goes to Tarland and that Bine, so if you're close by, definitely go see him.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Charles and Alex in Boston are watching. Hello both. Uncle Tommy and Auntie Sonia are in Huntly and they're stuffed after hearing their Chinese. Oh, fine. Quite fancy a Chinese and that.
Well.
Daria and Gordon Muir out the other side of Darland. Karen Fraser's watching. Sue Taylor up in Orkney is watching with their cheese and wine and homemade oatcakes. Ooh,
nice.
I love the posh.
Fancy.
I could go some oatcakes and that. I kind of just, when you're in a mood and you open the fridge and you didn't fit you in.
Yes.
I felt like a day the day, and new folk are saying, "Oh, I had this and I had this and that." Oh, I could mega go that.
I'm sorry, I never got round to this salmon on who there was a plan in you.
Yeah. Gillian Needham and David Curry are watching as well. Andrew Brandy, Alan and Rona Taylor out in Ufford. Isabel Lang in an ICR guy, she says the night. Kate and Jim Taylor in Garlogie, Sandy White in Mintla, Jane Roberts in Philadelphia, Joe and Pat in Kerry. They said they've got no snadoon in Kerry either. Steve Brady for Cheshire is watching. Susan Hurst from Oklahoma. She's watching. Tracy and Hugh Addlesey, a couple of our regulars, are watching in their pyjamas. So you could all be wearing your jammies. We're named the wiser.
Wear what you like, I
wear what you like.
We can't see you anyway.
Grace and Matt, my mum and dad, are watching out in Huntly, and your mum and dad, Ian and Anne.
In their pyjamas, maybe.
In their pyjamas, maybe. Elaine Mitchell and George Mitchell. Elaine's watching for the back of Benners tonight, and George is in Aberdeen. Hello, both. Jamie Bowers is joining us. Margaret Kerr's watching in Australia. Badger and Shona in the dark side of Darland.
Mm-hmm.
Frank and Lorraine are in Abine, and Bud Freeman in Athens, Georgia.
Good stuff.
We've got some guesses for what's in the box.
if you're ready.
Yeah. What's in the box? What's in the box? What's in the box?
So
what's in the box?
What have we got so far?
Susan Hurst thinks empty spools of thread. Grace Donaldson thinks drawing pins or paper clips. Andrew Brandy thinks bits of the boys' Lego. Ulla thinks pearls, and Jamie Bowers thinks Monopoly pieces.
Yeah, good. There are good answers. I mean, we could easily have gathered up a few of the pearls we've got just lying around the house. But I'm not going to say any more. But except you are wrong so far.
Yeah.
And the beer, we've got a few beer guesses.
Susan Hurst thinks Innocent Gun. Andrew Brandy thinks Brewdog. Badger thinks Burnside Brewery, though he's not sure what chain. And Jamie Bowers thinks Cairngorm IPA or Cali.
Okay, well, these are all excellent guesses, but we'll have to wait and see. Right, move back into the middle. So, what am I going to play? Right, I'm going to put a bit of music up here actually, because the second tune's one I haven't played very often. But the first tune is one, I think I did it last year when we did a musical journey for the source of the River Dee to the North Sea at Aberdeen. And this is a tune called Bray Reich, which is one of my own compositions, and it just came into my head to play it, so why not? I think you should go with your instincts. And Bray Reich's one of the highest mountains in the British Isles, I think it's one of the 5 highest mountains. I mean, the Cairngorms have some big ones. There's Ben McDooey's the second highest. At one time they actually used to think it was the highest. It's lost out by about 50 feet or something like that to Ben Nevis. But Ben McDooey's big. And then the opposite side of the Great Pass, the Lara Grew, there's Cairntoul and Bray Reich just right across. So that's a very deep defile, would you call it, or gorge, but it's a mountain pass anyway. It takes you from Strathspey, like a Aviemore sort of way, right through the heart of the Cairngorms to Dee side. So Bray Reich, and it's really inspired by a walk I was up there with some mates, and we went up and we had a glorious day and it wasn't inspired by being on it. It was inspired by being on Ben McDougal looking across the Larragoo at it, and it's an image that'll never leave me, really. It's just kind of almost a photographic image, and it might not be exactly what I saw, but certainly it feels like it in my head. So Breirich for a start. And then another tune which I wrote early last year, and this is a sad story because it's written for Shona's great uncle Ronnie, who sadly, he's been a regular. Ronnie sadly passed away, and this was written to celebrate his 90th birthday last year. And because of the pandemic, the coronavirus, it was cancelled like everything else. And cancelled's wrong, actually. It was postponed. He was fully intending to head the party when it was safe to do so, and unfortunately that's him away this week. So this is for Ronnie, and it's just called Ron Roger.
He was quite a character though, wasn't he?
Well, in fact, Shona, you want to tell me?
No, he was still...
Come on.
I'm not really going to say an awful lot, but he was a character, and he was quite an amazing man. He was a musician as well. Played the accordion, and he sang in the Cumbernauld Male Voice Choir, and he loved Friday nights. He always joined in on a Friday night and watched it. And he also was a fantastic gymnast and a coach as well. It was a big part of his life, and he was still competing in his 70s. He was 3 times British veteran gymnastics champion. Yeah, there was a thing he put on a display when he was 82. He was still doing that, and he did like deep sea diving and skydiving and all sorts of mental stuff. He was a proper daredevil, really fit guy, and one of these guys that you thought was just going to go on forever, but sadly we lost him this week. So,
well, one thing you can't say, he definitely made the best of life.
He
that's
did.
For sure.
A life well lived.
Yeah, absolutely. So anyway, the second tune is for Ron, or Ronnie. Uncle Ronnie is Shona's family card. So Breirich and then Ron Roger. there you go. So, there you go. Uncle Ronnie, I'm the best man.
Yeah, Mum was just saying that Ron was the inspiration for my dad to become a PE teacher.
Aye, because they used to go out and
Do
the displays and stuff around the games and things like that.
A few more hellos. Fiona and David Gardner are watching in Tain. Ted Cramar is watching tonight. Doing in Northumberland. Maureen Kay from Maryland is joining us tonight, and Elizabeth McMillan from Ottawa. Liz and Roger Court as well down in Lincolnshire. They often join us, a couple of regulars.
Yep.
Nice to see you. Hamish MacDonald from White Rashes is joining us, and Odd and Gordon Campbell in Galashiels. Put PM Gordon Campbell. I'm presuming it's Pipe Major rather than Prime Minister of Galashiels. PM, the Prime Minister of Galashiels.
Probably equally important jobs, I would say.
Absolutely. So I've only got one more guess for the beer.
Yep.
Jim Taylor thinks it might be Inverarmond.
Okay.
And the box guesses, we've got quite a few then. Give it a razzle. Isabel Lane thinks Nuts and Bolts from a Meccano set. Elizabeth McMillan thinks Beads. Rona thinks Barley. Paul Gray thinks it's all the screws that you've got loose. I'm glad you said it.
I still want to get in the box, man.
Liz and Roger Court think plastic magnetic letters. Again, the means you mean it, you put on a fridge. Frank thinks popcorn kernels. Hugh Addlesey thinks Jacks, as in the game, so Jacks in the box.
Yep.
Lorelei thinks small tacks or thumbtacks, and Uncle Tommy thinks bits of from Monopoly.
Okay, these are all excellent.
But
Well, it's too. You've said it's wrong, so they must be wrong. But yes, there are wrong. I think you're going to struggle with this tonight, actually. So, right. I've been working my way through Captain Simon Fraser's Airs and Melodies peculiar to the Highlands and Islands of Scotland, chiefly collected in the interesting period between 1715 and 1745. But better kent as a Nocky collection. Somebody sent a question, somebody from the States said, "What's a Nocky?" And I had to explain Nocky was a place. It's a place. So that's for Simon Fraser Comfy. So I'm going to play a couple of tunes for that collection. Now, what was it I was going to play? Aye, a Strathspey and a Reel. A couple of good tunes here. We're going to start with the Highlands of Bamfshar, which Bamfshar is now it's been split into Moray, part of it, and somewhat I think's landed in Aberdeenshire, but I think the most of it landed up in Moray, if they are, what actually now I think about it. But anyway, but it's a big county and it contains a lot of it. Has become the Speyside whisky marking area, but it's also got things like the River Spey and the Deverns in Aberdeenshire. What's the Ian and Keith Isla? Kind of fishing rivers.
But the Devon goes to.
Aye, so it bumps in Aberdeen, sure though. Aye, but
you would think Banff would be in Bamfshire.
Yeah, but it comes out towards Dufton, doesn't it?
Think so.
No, somebody's getting pulled me up for shoddy geography, but aye, so the Devon actually maybe spans a couple of counties. But anyway, it was a county in its own, Bamfshire, and it was an area famous for its scenery and excellent deer forests for hunting the deer back in the late 1700s, early 1800s. So the Highlands of Bamfshire, and that's followed by a tune called the Merrymaking. So let's see how we get on with this. great tunes, love them.
Bruno from Dijon, he says he asked you about a list of music if they are dances. You didn't get back to him.
Oh, that's neon typical. Bruno, it's nothing personal, it's just, if you didn't answer it right away, it starts landing down the list and you get preoccupied with something else. I'll try and come back. And
some of them would have been dances, I'm presuming.
No, I did have a look at it. I just didn't answer, but I'll need to have a look because I can't remember what tunes were in it. But I'll come back to you, Bruno. I apologise for that. Now we're going to hear some songs for Shona.
I've got a few notifications.
Oh, notifications! Sounds like the Press and Journal.
A few notifications. Hello to Harry Lash. He's joining us. He's been having a wee nap. He's had a tough week. Started a new job this week, so I hope it all went okay, Harry. Bonnie in Milwaukee, Wisconsin is joining us. I mentioned Bruno in Dijon. Jim Cole in North Wales. We had a really nice time in Wales, didn't we? That Fiddle Festival.
Oh,
Where was that?
It was the Snowdonia Fiddle Festival. It was Nant Peris. Which was near Llanberis.
Yeah, it was brilliant.
That's for Mallory and Hillary, both trained to do Everest. Mallory's still up there. Hillary obviously.
Not in Wales.
No, he's still up Everest.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's not still up. He's not still up Snowdon.
No.
Mary Pattison is watching in Whitthorn, which is in the Costa del Solway. Ian and Norma, that wasn't me, it was Mary that said it. Ian and Norma Russell at Aberdeen and Catherine McLaughlin in the port of Menteith. Paul, there's a good few things coming in, so you might want to have a quick look there. Box guesses. Joe Aitken thinks Silver Thripney's out of the New Year dumpling. Susan Hurst thinks Acorn. Jim Cole thinks Pearl Barley. Ian Russell, the chain for the lovey. And Andrew Brandy thinks lentils or peas. And we've got one more guess for the beer. Jim Cole thinks it might be Kilkenny beer. So, I have got a few songs. I mentioned earlier, no feeling great tonight. I feel a bit, just like I'm coming down with something. My throat's a wee bit rough. So we'll see how we get on with this. But I'm going to sing a few songs. I did mention that I was going to try and sing a Burns song every week. And we've got our Burns supper next Friday. And this isn't actually a Burns song, but he probably used it for inspiration for one of his most famous songs. And it's an old song, it's an old bothy song, it's in this book, Bothy Songs and Ballads by John Ord. And it says, our national poet Burns appears to have used this old bothy song as a model for a man's a man for a that. So I'm going to sing this. You probably heard me singing a song called The Laird of Turner Ha, and that's also a version of this song. But I learnt this song first and then started singing The Laird of Turner Ha as well. So this is a song called For A That and A That. Be good to me as long as I'm here, I'll maybe win awa yet. Is bonny coming out yon hill, that'll talk me fae o yet. For all that and all that, and thrices muckles all that, is bonny coming out yon hill, that'll talk me fae o yet. He wears a bonnet for a hat, a napkin for a cravat. He wears a jacket for a coat, but he'll be mine for all that. For all that and all that, and twice as muckles all that. He's coming here and will be here, they talk me fae o yet. And maybe I'll hae hose and sheen fan ye mana gang bar fet. And maybe I'll be neat and clean fan ye gang huit and drablet. For all that and all that, and thrices muckles all that, you'll maybe sit in my cotton, fan I am in my hoyet. There's nane of ye been good to me, but I'll reward you yet. Yam a banid a peckham heel van I can gie it to yet. But all that and thrices muckles o' that. I'll hae fine cows and fine meal mows, aye, and muckle mair than all that. There you go. For all that and all that. So you can definitely hear the inspiration there, can't you?
Oh, no question.
Absolutely. So, have you got any notifications, Paul?
Aye, Isabel Lane. She thinks in the box it might be a silver decanter label.
Okay.
Jack Taylor, he thinks it might be Smarties. He also thinks that the beer might be Brewdog.
Okay.
Elizabeth Court thinks it's maybe pre-decimal coins, like a 30-bit type of thing, or a sixpenny. Sandy White is asking for Duncan Gray next week.
Duncan Gray, come here to woo, ha ha, the wooing note.
There you go. That's a wee bit of a taster for next week.
I might do it actually. It's not a song that I sing, but I might have a look at it. I'll see. There's not a lack of Burns songs actually for next week.
No, there's thousands.
Thousands.
There's a few folk enjoying the singing. Jane D. Roberts in Philadelphia says, so beautiful, Shona.
Oh, thank you,
so
Jane.
Beautiful. That could be you, it could be the singing. She doesn't specify, but I'm prepared to say it's both.
Oh, thank you. What are you putting in for?
I'm married to you. A bit of love with you.
That's true.
Ted Cramar, he's been looking up Scottish beers. It's something probably didn't care on it, but he thinks it might be Caledonian Duker's IPA. Which would be a fairly common choice.
I'm just getting my starting note. I tried to change my D string last week and it's not quite settled yet, actually. So Paul mentioned he was mentioning music hall stuff earlier. I think like he said, a lot of folk maybe look down their nose a wee bit at the music hall stuff, but a good song's a good song and a good tune's a good tune. So I'm gonna sing a song I don't think I've ever sung, but I've kent it forever, and I'm sure you ken it. It's a music hall song called Bonnie wi' Jeannie McCall. You laughing at?
Oh, by the way, Jane Roberts says it was both.
Oh.
The song and the girl. So.
So if you ken it, join in him. Ah, fine wee lass, a bonny wee lass is Bonnie wee Jeannie McCall. I gave her my mother's engagement ring and a bonny wee tartan shawl, and I met her a waddin in the cooperative hall. I was the best man, she was the belle of the ball. The very first night I met her, she was awfully shy. The rain came pouring down, but she was happy, so was I. We ran like mad for shelter, and we landed up a stair. The rain came pouring out of my breeks, but I didn't care, for she's a fine wee lass, a bonny wee lass is Bonnie wee Jeannie McCall. I gave her my mother's engagement ring and a bonny wee tartan shawl. I met her a waddin in the cooperative hall, but I was the best man and she was the belle of the ball. Now I've wed my Jeannie and bairnies we three, 2 daughters and a braw wee lad that sit upon my knee. The recht wee holy terrors and they're never still for long, but they sit still and they listen while I sing to them the song, for she's a fine wee lass, a bonny wee lass is Bonnie wee Jeannie McCall. I gave her my mother's engagement ring and a bonny wee tartan shawl, and I met her a waddin in the cooperative hall. I was the best man and she was a belle of the ball, for she's a fine wee lass, a bonny wee lass is Bonnie wee Jeannie McCall. I gave her my mother's engagement ring and a bonny wee tartan shawl, and I met her a waddin in the cooperative hall. I was the best man and she was the belle of the ball. I just might reminds me of my granny sitting on the piano at Hogmanay or Christmas and everybody singing.
That is that's a kind of an Andy Stewart.
I felt like I should have got a kilt swinging there. Nothing. It's not that I sing, but it's actually just a funny wee song. Right, are you
there's
coming in?
one or two things. Francie Devine says hello.
Oh, hello, Francie and Anne.
Anne Wyatt thinks it's washers. Jamie Bowers thinks it's corn. Tom Campbell thinks it might be Brewdog because he said Brewdog are giving away freebies just now.
They are, because I was listening to Original 106, our local radio station, and the presenter had said that you had to log on to the website to get your freebie for Brewdog, and it gave you where you were in the queue, and he was like 6,500 in the queue.
That went horribly wrong. There's a huge amount of stuff I'm going to hate out. And Harry Lash, he's asking, can you sing the Bonnie Banks of Dee again? He said it's been a while, but he'd love you to hear you do that again. Okay, well.
Oh, Leah Rosswell saying, that's Take Me Back. I sang it when I was 3 at my granny's.
It's the kind of thing that would have been really popular.
Oh, totally. After would have kent Bonnie with, well, not personally Bonnie with Jeannie McCall, they would have kent the song.
Well, they might do.
They might. Maybe she was a real person. I can't. I'll let you go in here. Look now. Right, I'll let you back in, Paul.
Right. Transfer of power.
It's a peaceful transfer of power, is it?
It's a peaceful takeover. Right. Hello, we're back again. What's that, sorry?
Another wee rattle in the box and I'll look at the beer. Oh, sorry.
It's alright.
I'll take it.
Okay. Right, fit is in the box. It has taxed many a fine mind over the past year. To be honest. But there it is. Do your worst. See how you get on. And then the beer, you're going to hate to be quick, there'll be none left. But it pretty much looks like many a beer, so pot luck. But we've had a few guesses. Jack Taylor, now he did put down something. I can't remember if I mentioned him.
I don't think you did.
I thought I wrote it down, Shona.
Oh, did you? No, you didn't.
At the top.
No, you didn't.
At the top.
Oh, smart as a Brewdog. You did say.
I did. Okay, so yeah, Abdi's wrong so far in both competitions. Look at them. They're basically just potlucks, but only why nobody's got it right so far. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to play again. I'm going to go back to a couple of tunes for Captain Simon Fraser's Nocky collection. A lot of the tunes are nae that well kent. Some of them are very familiar, and I think I've said before that if I ever did the score for Whiskey Galore, basically got about just about every single musical theme in that film come out of this collection. A lot of old stuff, a lot of song melodies, a lot of stuff that would have had words. How many of them are still kent? I have no idea. We need to ask somebody like Anne Lorne Gillis, who's a great had a great collection on Gaelic song that came out. A lot of work went into it. And somebody like Margaret Stewart would be another person that would probably ken how many of them maybe still were known, but they never published the lyrics at the time because I think it was still considered kind of post 1745 to be politically a little bit dangerous if you were promoting Gaelic culture too much, and it's a great shame, but there you go, at least the tunes are there, which is something. So the first thing is one of Captain Simon Fraser's own tunes. There's a number of them in the collection. I mean, Scott Skinner, when he published his music, it was pretty much his own stuff. But Simon Fraser's is a collection of stuff that largely his father and his uncle collected. Some of the songs were passed on to him by his grandfather, and others he collected for other folk. But there are a few of his own compositions which are very, very fine. One guy at the time said, "Nobody spoke Gaelic so beautifully on the fiddle as Captain Simon Fraser." And he did write some lovely tunes, and this is one of them. It's called The Beauty of the North. And then I'm going to continue with a reel, called The Bedding of the Bride, which probably shouldn't say much about that, I suppose.
No, you just
leave your imaginations to it. So, anyway, they're lovely tunes. I think you did a job catching it there.
I think so.
Anyway, The Bed of the Bride there to finish. So I'm gonna play another set of tunes out the set because a lot of them will be fairly unfamiliar. The first thing's called The Hamlet Where My Lover Dwells, which is a nice slower type of tune, and then a spey called The Source of the Spey, and then a reel called The Periwig to finish. Now these, of course, they all have Gaelic titles, and these are the English translations. And I'm not a Gaelic speaker. I mean, I ken some words here and there, and obviously a lot of place names have Gaelic origins, but I'm not a Gaelic speaker, so I would hate to come on and start butchering it, make a fool of myself. But these are the English translations. The periwig. Now, there's a good story to that actually. Back in the 1700s, the chap that wrote this was at the particular thing. There was a baptism going on, and there was a big gathering at the house, including the minister. And the minister was quite a well-to-do kind of lad, and the fashion at the time was to wear wigs. A wig is a periwig is a wig. Sorry, and it was kind of fashionable to wear them. And he'd quite a big, kind of fancy looking wig, this minister, who'd done the baptism. And the chap that wrote the tune was known for his sense of humour. And they sat down aside the fire, and the chap that wrote the tune was too down for the minister. There was a lad and a tween. And as he was sitting there, he got it was either a long feather or an ear of cotton or something, and he put his arm behind the boy aside him and started tickling the back of the neck of the minister, who was desperately trying to let on there was something amiss. But all of a sudden, eventually, he began to look a little bit concerned, and then he jumped up because he thought there was a spider or an earwig crawling up the back of his neck. So he jumped up and gave the wig a shark, but it landed right in the fire. For apparently it started to burn, and the smoke was as bad it about choked everybody in the room. So they all had a good laugh about that, and apparently his baldy he'd got another laugh, which sounds pretty cruel, but the minister actually totally bought into the whole thing, and
The minister with a good sense of humour.
He thought it was amusing himself, the whole scenario, especially when he found out what actually was happening. And originally the tune it was called The Fried Periwig. That was the old title because it was frying there, stinking out the room. So here we go. And if it was the first tune, the Hamlet, Where My Lover Dwells. Ken, I've just played it today and recorded it, but I think that's gone right into my repertoire, I think. So, folks, I'm going to step aside and let the twice beautiful Shona, beautiful singer and a beautiful lady. So there we go, folks.
So nice.
And there may be very little of that left by the time I come back, so take a good look and put in your guesses.
Right, okie dokie. So, I've got a few guesses for the box. Sandy White thinks mayonnaise for Monopoly. Andrew Brandy thinks ball bearings. Catherine Brown drawing pins. Kate Taylor thinks drawing pins as well. Gillian Needham beer bottle tops. Tracy Adelsey thinks Scrabble tiles. Jamie Bowers thinks metal bearings. Lorelei Bach thinks buttons, as does Ulla in Stockholm. And Harry Lash thinks old screws, nails, nuts and bolts kind of thing. Bud Freeman, I'm seeing, thinks small chain in the box as well. Now, the beer... Paul Gray says no idea, but he bets the glasses from the Aberdeen Arms.
Well, I would like to comment. I like George and Shona at the
Sorry,
door.
Shona and George, if you're watching, and Nikki and Catherine.
Actually, I don't think it is,
don't
because
know if it
it's a Carlin bless. I think this come with like a box in Christmas times for. I the fancy glasses that I've nicked over the years, going right back to my teens, they've basically all been broken by various folk. Yes.
It happens, Paul.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gillian Needham thinks Belhaven. Jamie Bowers thinks Sky Gold. Ian Russell thinks Orkney Corncrake. Ted Clamar thinks Yarrow by Fine Ales. And Andrew Brandy thinks Arran Brewery.
Now, I've noticed Alison MacDonald has said Coors Light. Alison, it will always be a Scottish beer.
It will always be a Scottish beer.
And that Sky watery stuff, anyway. To say. I probably wouldn't buy Coors Light.
So I'm going to sing. This is another song that I've never sung, but I've kent it for years and years. When I played with the Strathbogie fiddlers, I was with the junior fiddlers and I also played with the senior fiddlers as well. And there was a wee kind of concert party made up, and there was a few of us would go round. If the whole fiddlers wasn't needed, there was a few of us that used to go and entertain a few fiddlers. There was Kate and Barbara Anderson and myself. There was Dougie Rayburn, much missed fiddler for Huntly. There was Rosemary Cow on the piano. There was Tinner Forbes on his saxophone, Billy Buse on the accordion, and Frank McNally often came out with us and sang as well. And I think I first heard Frank singing this actually.
Was Frank did he come up during the Second World War?
Frank was an evacuee from Glasgow and he settled in Huntly. And he was a real inspiration to me, and I really loved his singing. He was kind of one of the first folk I ever heard singing bothy ballads, and he's much missed. Thankfully he did a few recordings as well. He's on a few of the bothy compilation things as well. Great singer. So I think this is one that I first heard Frank singing out and about at that wee concert parties. And again, it's not a song that I sing, but I was looking through a few books and I thought, I'm just going to do that. It's a good song. And it's the All Meal Mill. When the horse are in the stable and the kye are in the byre, and the hard day's toil is over, and the all folks round the fire, it is then a gang a trippin' to the fair beyond to the hill, just to see my bonny lassie by the old meal mill, by the old meal mill, by the old meal mill, just to see my bonny lassie by the old meal mill. She's got teeth like brambleberries, she's got teeth like mountain snow, she has lips as red as roses, she's the sweetest flower that grows, and I'm longing for the lousing, just to quit the longsome drill, and get off to see my lassie by the old meal mill, by the old meal mill, by the old meal mill, and get off to see my lassie by the old meal mill. Knew the old folk often winter, Advert keeps me out so late, for nine of them are sleeping till they hear me sneak o' the gate. But the old man he loses as I'm tripping o'er the hill, that I'm off to see my lassie by the old meal mill. see my lassie by the old meal bow. There you go. I can hear the loons rumbling up the stairs, and then I can fit their D in.
Yeah.
Right. If you've got any more, notifications?
Alison MacDonald has retracted her Coors Light statement. And she says in the box the kilt pin. And Kate Taylor thinks in the box paper clips.
Okay.
And a few folk just saying how much they enjoyed that
I saw
song. And
Heath Fleming
says he wished they had you singing with a jock about.
I would totally love that. Do you know, I would love to. I'm sure you're the same. I'd totally love to do a reenactment group, but I just didn't have the time to do it. I wish I could.
Well, I do at the minute.
I do at the minute, but you couldn't go and do on it.
Generally speaking, we didn't. But I could get into that.
Yeah. I could totally get into that.
Broadsword and Dodge would be.
See, Nicola Mitchell thinks uncooked rice in the box. Right, I'm gonna wheech myself round and do my last song. Do you want to just wheech it round? Just turn the actual thing.
I'll just turn it. There you go.
There we go.
How's that?
That's alright. No, actually, it's a bit far round that way. Take it round that way a bit. That's better. I hope you can hear me. I feel a bit far away, actually.
Well, I'm not moving it.
No, didn't move it because you'll take out fucking spit. So, this is actually a request. I got a message from Daria Muir, and I'm presuming Gordon as well is at the back of this, and they asked if I could sing this next song. Oh, I'm seeing Sarah Van Ratnitz is watching from Torridon. Hello, Sarah. Wonderful, yeah, wonderful fiddler. You might know her as Sarah Naylor. Fantastic fiddler, check it out if you can. So, Up the Northern Water. This is not a song I sing because I always think of it being Joe Aitken's song. The fantastic Joe Aitken, who is a regular on Friday nights. If you've never heard Joe, if you're joining us from out with Scotland, or even if you haven't in Scotland, go and look him up on YouTube. He is honestly one of my favourite singers ever, and he sings this. And I could just never think of anybody else. Well, Jim Reid, because Jim put the tune to it, but I love Joe singing this. So I'm going to give it a bash. Not quite sure how this is going to turn out. The words, the tune was by Jim Reid. He put the tune to the words. And the words are by Helen Cruikshank, who was born on the 15th of May in 1886 and died on the 2nd March 1975. She was born in Hillside in Angus. And she, at one point she was down in London. She had a job in London, and she her politics grew from being down in London, and she was a suffragette as well as a poet, an amazing poet, and she was a founding member of the Saltire Society as well. I think she was the secretary of the Edinburgh Pen Group, and she was quite pally. A regular visitor to her house in Edinburgh was Hugh McDermott and also Lewis Grassick Gibbons. So she I'm here. I think the dog just fell down the stairs. Paul, do you want to go and check?
I suspect they're trying to tuck him.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna give this a bash. This is Up the Northern Water. Do you want me to wait until you come back in,
okay.
Paul? Are you sure?
Yep.
Just want to make sure Dougal's okay.
Boys.
The boys are meant to be looking after Dougal upstairs, but I just heard a rumble on the stairs. He's quite old and he's a wee bit blind, and sometimes he doesn't quite mark a bottom step. So we'll see. So this is Up the Northern Water, and Joe will maybe put up where the Northern Water is in Inglesmaddy. If he wants to, I'm not saying you have to, or you could just go and Google it yourself. So, Up the Northern Water. I'll just wait until you're back in, Paul, because I can hear you. So Tom Campbell saying maybe Dougal's had too much beer. He's missed the bottom step. Okay.
He's getting a bit dottery.
I was saying, he's getting a bit bland and he just sometimes doesn't quite muck it. So, right, Paul's back in situ, so I'll give this a bash. Up the northern water and some think it's Thomas's, and some think it's Chase, but nobody expected it. We on his quiet ways. Up the northern water, the bonny little money is dandled and cuddled close by Engle's muddy Zanny. What a bairnie's feather is, the lassie never says, but some think it's Thomas's, and others think it's Chase. Up the northern water, the country folk are kind, and what the bairnie's feather is, they dinna muckle mind. But oh, the bairnat on his breast, the loving on his ear, would mark me wish we all my heart that the lucky lad was me. But oh, the bairnat on his breast, the loving on his ear, would mark me wish we all my heart that the lucky lad was me. There you go. Northern Water. Oh, I got claps for Joe, so that's that. Phew.
We'll just turn this round about. There we go.
There we go.
Oh,
Oh, you're cutting out, Paul.
yeah. Oh, can you pull with it?
Yeah.
Please.
Oops.
There we go.
There we go, there we go.
Ta-da! Well done. There's a lot of folk like that song. It's a beautiful song.
Chris Caldwell says, but a ding-dong song.
Ding dong.
It is a Kikero song, actually. Isn't it? It's just, it's so simple, and it's just, it is what it is.
It is.
It's for the heart. Okay.
Right. Well,
What's in the box? 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 What's in the box?
fits in the box. Right, I'm going to put this down here. You probably noticed there's more than one bit to this. But nobody was
I don't
really
think it
close.
Oh, I can't fit it is now.
If it is that. Well, I'll tell you what this is. Oh, there goes the bar. It's a miniature wooden Skittles set. Look, there's the... Got the full set of these. They came out with a cracker, actually.
We did. We got
a wee
luxury
bit.
crackers from Aldi this year.
Aye,
We're
well,
pushing the
things
boat.
like there was
Nail
nail clippers.
clippers.
And we thought, right, we're just ourselves. Let's just get half decent crackers, and actually it was a very, very well spent bit of money.
So
Miniature Skittles set, which is probably why nobody got it right.
Although Hugh Addersley said Jacks for a game.
Yeah, it's a different game though. But a game is certainly, that's the closest.
So you were half right, Hugh. You were half right.
No, he was nowhere near right.
Well, he said a game, and that was the closest.
It was a game.
That's true. Okay.
So.
Sorry, I'm just trying to stick up for you, Hugh.
Oh, Hugh, you're wrong, Hugh. And the beer, which...
Nobody got right.
There's been a murder. there's nothing to see here, folks. This week it was Edinburgh Gold. Golden Ale.
I've never heard of it.
Stuart Brewing. That was the beer that we
From
had this week.
Edinburgh.
Yep.
Quite a nice wee label.
It is. Oh, it's very distinctive, stands out. But it tasted fine. It's an ex-bottle of beer. It's no more. It's gone. So there you go. And that's us.
Yeah, 44 done. Well, we're still going to play a tune in a while, but next week we will have our Burns supper. So if you fancy wearing something tartan and sending us a photo,
that would be a good thing. This time next week, now I think I would probably have been at the Peterhead Burns Club Burns Supper, which I've been doing for. This would have been 21 years, I think I would have been there. And it's certainly one of the best Burns suppers you could go in the world. It's one of the,
I'm nodding my head, but I've never been.
No, you're not allowed because it's men only. And there has been some speak about I need to let the women in, but trouble is they've got a 15-year waiting list. It's the only event they run, and I'll be quite honest. I mean, am I a wee bit surprised that some women are desperate to get into these things?
Just what you can for your day,
you probably wouldn't. You're not really missing on it. It's just a type of guys that celebrating Burns but having a good time, and it is good. It's one of the best run Burns suppers. I love.
You took a photo one year of the cheese plate, and it is literally just a block of cheese. That's like my kind of cheese plate. Like just a bit of cheddar.
A wheel of cheese with oat cakes. You've got to keep it away from Gordon.
Gordon High.
Gordon High likes his cheese. If it ends up his end of the table, that's it. Cheese is gone, boys.
That's my kind of cheese plate though. None of your stinky cheese, just a big block of cheddar.
I like a stinky cheese as well, but it's homely fare, which would be probably right up Burns' street.
A few years ago, me and my dad did the Toast to the Lassies and the Reply at the was it the Buchan? No, it was, I can't remember how far it was now.
Was it near the band car?
No, it wasn't the band car. It was at Aberdeen that we did, and it was in the it was Methlick. It was a Methlick Burns supper, and the trifle. We had trifle for our pudding, and they literally just had a big bowl and just sclapped it down in front of you, and you helped yourself. That's my kind of Burns supper. None of your fancy posh stuff.
If it's trifle, that is definitely.
Just give me a big bowl of trifle, and I'm happy.
I'm not a Highland but I like a trifle.
But I'm doing we're both doing a Burns supper on Sunday.
That's for Boston branch, the Royal Scottish Courtly Dance Society. It's really to do with they kind of get together and dance at the minute, so they're putting on events once a month, and so they want to put a Burns thing on, and I had been across there, and I've addressed a haggis. It wasn't a haggis actually. I can't remember. It could have been a fruit or a pumpkin or something, but I addressed something, and so they wondered whether we would do a Burns thing for them. So we've got this on Sunday night. And then next week, we're going to have our Burns night, which will be obviously, it'll be our Burns songs and poems and tunes. And we're going to address the haggis.
We've got our haggis for Sheridan's already.
It's a top class wee haggis. So we'll address an actual haggis next week. So.
And I'm doing a wee live spot for Aberdeen Folk Club on Wednesday night as well. So if you fancy having a look at that, just have a search for Aberdeen Folk Club, and I'm only doing four or five songs, but it'll be a good night as well. A lot of the regulars performing, so I think that's really about us. If you've enjoyed tonight and you fancy bunging something in the tip jar, feel free. It's www.paypal.me/Paul Anderson Shona Don, and it's always appreciated. We do really appreciate folks supporting us just now. So.
And otherwise, we'll see you next week. Now, you came for. I'm going to say, just watch yourselves.
Wash your
hands. Wear your masks. Socially distant, and just dinna go carrying about for heaps of folk. Just keep away from everybody. until this is passed and we've all got vaccinated, and it's all going to de-doon, because clearly if it's rife, it's because folk have been dead when they're supposed to.
But we'll hear a good hoolie once we can, I'm sure.
And it'll be the thing it reminds me of is when you let the coos out after the winter and it's a first day out to the grass, they go mental. All the tails
That's
are in
what we're
there
gonna
and they're
be like.
fleeing about, so it'll be a bit like that. The first festival, I think there may be casualties. There'll be a lot
It's
of folk.
usually stricken in May. That's when the coos are out and we all go a bit mental.
First night there'll be a lot of folk near rising to left after dinner time, I would say.
Getting
and I'll
the
be
horizontal award.
I'll be one of them. So anyway, thanks for
Right.
looking in, folks. Take care. We'll see you next week.
Oh, and Wyatt is saying, let us know what time you're addressing the haggis. We'll have ours at the ready so you can do it at the same time.
Well, I'll tell you what we're
Just
going to
do
do.
it.
We'll start.
Start with that.
That would
And then
be.
you can sit and eat your met as we are.
That's because
Performing.
I can get it prepared, ready for you. I'm not going to do all the neeps and tatties at that point. We'll have for dinner the next day, but I will have the haggis ready on the bile, out the pot, and it'll be ready
Hopefully
to
when
start
I
the
came
show.
back.
And we'll have to get set up with a table, I suppose, but we can do that. But
Yep.
we'll address the haggis at the beginning, 8 o'clock. We'll say hello, and we'll get the boys. Well, they don't ken yet, but we'll get the boys in about. We'll play in the haggis. Maybe Roderick would be probably the most likely guy that would do that. He's into his cooking and he likes being involved. Hector's too much of a teenager.
Yeah.
He'd rather
Hector's too cool for it.
too cool for that. But we'll get the boys involved and start with the address to the haggis. How's that? Can I say fair than that? 8
So,
p.m.
Get your
next week.
haggises. Your haggises?
Haggis, just haggis.
Get your haggis, get your tartan on, and we'll have a good burn supper next Friday.
Okay. Right, we're going to finish with. Oh, we did speak about this. Lovely Stornoway.
Can I just tune up with you?
Try to do something different every week if we can.
This doesn't have a second part though, it's just the one.
I think so.
Okay.
You can mark up in if you like.
Nah, that's alright.
Yep. Right.
3 times.
Aye.
What key did you do it in? Okay.
D is it?
I think so, yeah.
2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Hope you were having a wee waltz through the living room.
Okay, take care, folks. Thanks for looking in, and we will see you next week.
Do you want me to press it?
Press.
Finish. Cheerio!